Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to another Matchbox Monday. I thought we'd do something slightly different tonight. I've never actually had all my Matchbox kits all together, so I spent a bit of time grabbing them off the shelves and I thought we'd do hopefully a quick overview of them. What I've also done is a bit of research so we can perhaps do them in number order. So let's make a start. So the first kit in my collection is fortunately PK1, which is the Hawker Fury from Matchbox. This one I remember was a repop, a Revel kit, but nevertheless the moulds were Matchbox. Next one is PK8, which is the Gloucester Gladiator. You may recall that I've had this one for some time, nearly 25 plus years. Had a bit of battle damage, but still thankfully in my collection. Quite a recent addition to my collection, and this is the Huey Cobra PK9. This one was actually from a Matchbox boxing, not a Revel boxing, so I remember building one of these when I was a kid, so I was really pleased to have this in my collection again. So this one's the Armstrong Whitworth Siskin 3 PK125. Built this a few years ago and took my time over it. Thoroughly enjoyed this build. It's one of my favourite aircraft in my collection. We make a bit of a jump now to PK71, and this is the 176 Sherman Firefly. Again, built this some time ago, and I think this was a Revel repop. I think you'll be able to tell when we see some of my other armour kits how I've managed to progress with the builds, doing different techniques like sludge washes and so on, and highlighting. PK72, so this is the Comet, 176 Comet. I really do like this tank. I think it looks pretty awesome. I love the fact that it had quite a good speed with quite a powerful gun, and yeah, really like this one. I think again this was a Revel repop. So this one you may recall from not so long back. I think was this the first build of this year that I completed? This is PK80 and it's the Jagdpanzer. Okay, this is a very old kit. It's the Panzer Mark II PK81, and I still think that this was a Revel repop, although I built it some years ago now. I think I went to town on this with the dust effects for being Africa core, but it doesn't look too bad. Another recent addition, which is the T34 PK82. Again, a Revel reboxing of the Matchbox kit. Really enjoyed putting this one together, and I think it's not a bad looking kit considering its age, and almost like its basic construction. Another really old kit, and this is the Sd.kfz 251/1 PK83. As you know, I like German half-track, so I'm glad to have this in the collection. I've just noticed that it's got the 37mm anti-tank gun on there, so technically it should be a 251/10, I think, because of that addition. This would be, I think, an Ace B as well, because it's got the slope underneath, that slopes underneath there. It's also finished in the Grossdeutschland division, which is my favourite German division. So this is the Jagdpanzer Mark IV L70 and PK87. L70 refers to the length of the barrel, so the barrel is 70 times longer than the calibre of the gun. I think that's what it means. Again, just so happy to have this in the collection. I'm pretty sure I built this when I was a kid. So here we have the M7 HMC Priest PK89, and although it's looking a bit dusty, this is one of those where I tried to do a bit of sludge wash and highlighting to it, and I think I actually did some streaking on the one side. I used it to practice streaking to get like rain effects. This one was a bit of an awkward build because the mount for the gun didn't sit right in that aperture, so that was a bit of a challenge, but we got there eventually with that one. Okay, so going back to planes for a bit, this is the Walrus, the Supermarine Walrus, which is PK105. The decals for this, I seem to recall, are not the kit decals. I finished the Walrus as the aircraft that flew from the cruiser HMS Birmingham. So here we have the Douglas A20 Havok PK120, and you may recall that this was dedication build to the dog. Again, really enjoyed putting this together. I think I've got to be honest, it's Matchbox, so I'm going to be enjoying all these builds. I don't know why I keep saying it, but this was a great build to put together, and there was no real issues with the fit or anything. Although perhaps the experts will tell me that there are some shape issues with it and things like that. At the end of the day, it looks like a Havok, so I'm happy. So here we have the Fairy Swordfish, which is PK122. The story behind this one was that I bought the Airfix, the new Airfix Swordfish, and threw that up the wall because it just would not go together. Then I recalled that Matchbox had done a Swordfish, and sure enough I was able to find a Revel repop of it, and this thing just flew together, pardon the pun. The only thing about this one is that the decals again are not from the kit, they are aftermarket, and they represent a Swordfish from HMS Ark Royal. Okay, now we have the only ship at the moment that I've got in my collection from Matchbox. This is the 1/700 scale USS Indianapolis PK105. And looking at it now, I'm just overjoyed that I spent my time on this and didn't do too bad a job, and it sits happily on the shelves along with my other ship builds. So we have PK177 Churchill bridge layer, and I don't know whether you can tell, but my modelling techniques for the smaller scale armour seems to have improved over the years, and this is possibly the best so far. Again, taking time over painting up the bridge and weathering it, and also the Churchill itself, so another enjoyable build. Here we have the Challenger tank PK178, and somewhat a bit different, obviously modern, and at the same time finished in desert colours. I had fun weathering this, and I think it was a bit of a surprise that I realised that this was a Matchbox kit that Revel were issuing. I think the scale, you know, just gave it away immediately, and I didn't realise that Matchbox had actually released the Challenger tank, so that was a nice surprise, and again another nice build. Okay, so the biggest build in my collection, this is the Handley Page Hayford PK605. This was released by Revel, but the boxing of it was weird. It's not like the Revel I know of today. It was perhaps because it was released soon after they bought out Matchbox. I think the boxing was almost said like classic on it or something, Revel Classic. Of course it is a Matchbox kit. Built this so many years ago, and again took my time over it, hence decent job on the propellers and on the rigging and so on. Unfortunately, over the years she's had a bit of battle damage. I've still got the front window that's missing here, and whilst I was dusting it off to show you tonight, I managed to break another part, which was like a shield at the back here to stop the wind resistance for the gunner at the back. But yeah, this is the biggest kit in my collection so far, and it is also the last of my builds, so I'll just gather them all together and we can have a look at them as one big group. So there we go guys, all 19 builds together with the ship at the front. Then we got all the tanks and then all the aircraft. So something a bit different for Matchbox Mondays. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon.